So you're thinking about getting your real estate license in another state? Well, I personally had my real estate license in Portland, Oregon when I started my real estate career. And the reason that it made sense for me to get my real estate license in Washington state is because Portland is right on the border of Vancouver, Washington and Portland, Oregon. So literally, if you drive up to North Portland and cross the bridge, you literally enter right into Washington. So today, about 50% of our transactions are in two different states, 50% in Washington, 50% in Oregon. Fast forward to today, I now live in Boise, Idaho area. I actually live in Eagle. Eagle, Idaho is very close to Oregon. It's also very close to Washington. So today I have my license actually in all three states because it just makes sense. Now, I talked to so many different agents about multiple different state licenses and when it makes sense and when it doesn't. There's a couple of reasons why it makes sense and a couple of reasons that it doesn't make sense. In a situation where you live on border states, I think it makes perfect sense. Now, when I talk to other agents, they'll say things like, oh, I live now in Boise, Idaho, and I still, I came from California. I still have my license back in California because there's an investor that tells me that they're going to buy all this real estate with me. And I would say, yeah, well, have they bought anything with you? And they're like, well, no, not yet. We just haven't found the right thing. It typically leads to a lot of wasted time. Also, I talked to a lot of agents that move to Florida that keep their real estate license in other states. And the reason that they do that is because they're hoping that they're going to get listings and then be able to sell their home from afar. Now, this works if you have a trusted agent that is back in another state that can handle your clients for you when you're gone. Me personally, I just like to collect the referral. Because let's say another agent's going to handle my business and we're going to split it 50-50. Now, it doesn't necessarily require me to have a license in that state because I could hand that deal over to my trusted agent referral partner to handle those deals. Now, if you do have multiple licenses, the one place that I recommend taking a look at it to taking your license to, it's where I took my license, is EXP. And the reason that it makes so much sense is because it doesn't matter if you're licensed in one state or 50, you only pay one cap. It also allows us to work with agents all around the country. And what I mean by that is typically when you're at a real estate brokerage, and let's just use Keller Williams, for example, that's where I used to be. If I was at my Keller Williams franchise market center in Portland and the market franchise owner didn't own the office up in Vancouver, Washington, I couldn't work directly with that agent at the other market center. However, at EXP, it allows me to work with that agent up there at that market center. Actually, let me retract what I just said. There is no market center at EXP. We're a cloud-based brokerage, which means we have no borders, which allows us to collaborate with every single agent in the country at this time. There currently happens to be about 80,000 agents at EXP Realty in the United States. So there's endless opportunities to collaborate with agents at a very high level without any borders. The other reason that I like EXP so much is because every time we sell our first home every single year, we get stock equity in the company. That's only one of 5 ways that we actually earn stock. You can also purchase stock with 5% of your commissions at a 10% discount. When you cap, and once you cap, you go 100%, you get stock in the company. If you become an icon agent, which is, a production award, you get up to $16,000 in stock. You see that award over my shoulder on this side. That's from hitting icon my 3rd year in a row. And if you ever attract an agent, every time or when they sell their first home, you get stock as well. That's the stock equity. That's what makes us partners in the company. The real secret sauce, though, comes in the form of revenue share. And in 2023, EXP paid out over $220 million in stock equity and revenue share to their agents. So when you talk about a company that has their agents' interest at heart, EXP is the only cloud brokerage in the entire industry that was created by an agent and is still to this day ran by an agent. And to be quite honest, if you look at all the other cloud brokerages out there, they are all being ran by tech investors, not even tech people, tech investors. If you look at their stocks over the last few years, their stocks are very, very low. And if you look at their profitability is actually going backwards. They're not profitable. So for the long run, this puts them in a very bad position. And this is what they all say. They all say, we are the next EXP. We all have everything EXP has to offer. Well, no, they don't. Because if they were, they'd be the #1 brokerage in the United States. They'd be one of the most profitable brokerages in the United States. They'd have a brokerage that's ran by a real estate agent, and they'd have a brokerage that was founded by a real estate agent, and they'd have the size of agent count that we do, and we'd all be collaborating and succeeding together. We also have one of the highest production per agent count in the entire industry. So not only do we help our agents out a lot, we also sell a ton of real estate. And if you're licensed in 1 or 50 states, you only pay one cap, which is something that I absolutely love, being licensed in 3 states. So if you're someone that's wanting to talk about getting your license in another state, you can reach out to me anytime and we'll have that conversation. It's really easy to get your license in another state. You don't need to be a resident of that other state. A lot of states do broker reciprocity. So let's just say, for example, when I was licensed in Oregon, I filled out the application to get my license up in Washington. And guess what? I had to take the state test, not the federal. In Idaho, the exact same situation. However, if I would have been licensed in Washington first, I still would have had to take the Oregon state and federal portion. They don't reciprocate. In Arizona, when I lived there, they had what they call professional licensing acknowledgement. So therefore, because it was a professional license, just like real estate, being an attorney, being a hairstylist, those all require professional licenses. They acknowledge it, and it's a hybrid of the state and federal. And the test was huge. It was 280 questions. I ended up not doing it. I never got my license in Arizona. So a lot of agents reach out to me from Texas and Florida asking if there's reciprocity in their states. I would just recommend going onto their website and typing in, does my state that I'm licensed in reciprocate here? Every situation is a case-by-case scenario. So there's no one size fits all on whether or not you should be licensed in 2 states or 3 or 4 or 5. Some agents think just to get referrals from agents in other states, they need referrals. I gave out over 180 referrals last year in probably all 50 states. I only have my license in 3 states. So if you're someone that can generate deals at a high level, there's also a referral program at EXP. There's also commercial at EXP. We have so much stuff going on over here. It really depends on what you want to do. But if you are licensed in multiple states, this is a great platform because it's only dealing with one cap. It's $16,000, 80-20 split. Once you hit your cap, you go 100%. When I was at Keller Williams, I had to pay double cap. When I was at another brokerage, I paid double cap again. And guess what? They all have franchise fees. That cap never goes away. Guess what? The owner's always making their money. So if you look at a traditional franchise model, people talk about EXP being this pyramid scheme. Well, okay, so at a traditional franchise model, you have the investor, you have the market center owner, you have the broker, and then you have the agent. All of those people are making money, and guess what? They're all keeping it. In EXP, we have the agent, we have the company, the money goes into the company, and guess what? They give back 50% of that revenue to the agents. So you're telling me that EXP is the pyramid scheme when we give 50% of our revenue back to the agents and all these other companies keep all of that revenue for themselves. That's absolutely mind-blowing to me. And I think a lot of people have it backwards, or a lot of people are actually misinformed because I've helped hundreds and hundreds of agents make the move over to EXP, and 90% of them never know what revenue share actually is. So if you have any questions and you want to reach out and talk about licenses in multiple states, or you want to talk revenue share or equity, or building a long-term sustainable business, and maybe even an exit strategy out of real estate, there's only one thing you got to do. Reach out, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, or even schedule that Zoom down in the description below. However you want to get a hold of me, I got your back when making a move, or just having a conversation about EXP Realty. And until next time, we'll catch you later.